All right, hey, what's going on, my friends? This is your boy Turgon, the grumpy ass dwarf, and today is an interesting day. We now are officially 7 weeks into the season, and the season has a cutoff of 0 UTC on the 18th, 1 week, less than 1 week from today. So very exciting, and there's still a lot of season left. Even though we got that timer up, there's a lot that can happen. Still a lot of players in this. So before I dive into anything further, I just wanted to solicit some of your feedback, if I may. Curious, I started, I'm not a YouTuber. I don't use any fancy editing software. I'm basically a dude sitting in a chair, pacing back and forth in his bedroom, talking into his headset that he uses for work that's Bluetoothed to my cell phone. So I don't do anything fancy for my videos. And I noticed, upon reviewing my videos that when I hold my phone sideways, it looks like crap. So I've been holding my phone this way, which is kind of weird from a gameplay perspective. I don't know how many people play this way. Kind of curious of that as a side note. But more so, I'm just wondering, from people who watch my videos, if it's better talking through stuff and just keeping it in this mode, so that the screen looks does it look good for you? Um, I don't really like playing this way. I usually play with my phone sideways, but like I said, when I record that way, it looks all funny on YouTube. I haven't figured out any way to fix that, and I don't have time really to do that because I'm too busy fighting, playing this game, and working, and dealing with life and shit. So anyway, be curious about your feedback. Leave it in a comment below, or shoot me a message in game or on Discord, whatever works for you. I'm just curious. Okay, so now that we're through that, let's get to kind of an update on where we're at in the season. Let's hit the map. We're doing good. We're looking strong. The East is united against Lothlorien. The West is united against them pretty much too. Although Arnor is holding firm. They seem to be, taking the brunt of a battle to get to Linden's capital before the season end, so that that faction alliance can get that season reward. So it looks like they're on their way. They're trying to get up there and they're fighting over here. So plenty of time for that to happen. We'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, over here, just today, merely hours ago actually, Rohan has stripped Lothlorien of their capital. It was actually a joint effort with the Variags, is my understanding, and Rohan has it. And here we are. It's good stuff. So now that that's done, Lothlorien is crippled, and we also have this lovely battle going on up here. 4.8 million deaths. We've been fighting at Rivendell literally for the last 2 days straight, and this is what it looks like. Been an absolute bloodbath. We fought our way 300 style through this trench tunnel, hidden passageway, whatever you want to call it. Um, so we've made it. We're at the keep, and I'm launching rallies on it. I launched rally on it earlier, and I got another one going here. 3 people in it, and that's going to hit uh, at 600 UTC in about an hour and 21 minutes. Exciting. Um, I haven't had a chance to rally all season, so I'm happy that I get a chance to do it finally. I've just been sitting on these rally tokens all season long, so I'm happy that I have an opportunity to use them. And I just nearly dropped my phone. Uh, so that's really cool. That's where we're at right now. We're just breaking Lothlorien. Their barracks are empty. Like I said, we've fought them here for like 2 days straight. Like it's going on Thursday, and I'm pretty sure we started fighting here on Monday, maybe even Sunday, but I'm pretty sure it was Monday morning. So yeah, it's been a long fight here to get here. Very satisfying. Uh, so that's what we're at right now. Now, next thing I want to do is kind of just do a quick season review. Week one, when the season starts, you're just trying to race to get as much resources as you possibly can, get an economy set up, start building stuff, developing your units, those kind of things. And it was rough early going for us. We were kind of the third wheel of Erebor here in terms of farm, and so I think our leadership has done a great job, understanding our place kind of in the social structure within our faction and, being assertive and speaking intelligently and making strong recommendations throughout the course of the season. And ultimately, I think it's played an enormous role in landing us where we are today. Because while the other two fellowships in Erebor are certainly like stronger than us, like they have more fighters than we do. Um, they're bigger than we are. We have 91 members. I think they're pretty much full. Um, I think we definitely have made a significant impact on the server. And it's been, it was frustrating for a long time because, after week one, basically right into week two, from week two, essentially going for a while, it was basically Erebor versus the world. We had a nap with Lothlorien, we knew that they were going to faction alliance with Arnor as soon as faction alliances became available, which I believe was like the third or the fourth week of the season. It felt like it was a really long time before we could get into a faction alliance this season. Um, maybe that's just me. Somebody else, feel free to chime in and let me know what you think about that assertion. But yeah, I mean, basically from weeks two through I'm gonna say six, it was just us versus Variag, Rune, and Mordor even made its way north and attacked us as well. So it was three evil sides, and weeks two through four, basically just us versus Variags and Rune. And they were hammering at us from multiple sides, trying to get at Elven King Halls was the Variags, and the Rune was coming at us through Greater Rune up Eastern Hills Keep. So Rune was like coming up in here, and Variags was trying to hit Elven King Halls to get to Erebor, and we repelled them at Elven King Halls. They came at us, I think, during one war cycle. There was three or four separate large coordinated pushes for the keep, and we were able to repel them every time. So that's certainly a testament to the skill and determination of our faction, and I'm proud of what we've been able to do. Although, like I said, for a very long time, it was very frustrating. It was frustrating during the farm week because every time it felt like every time I could get to farm, waiting for the stamina that I needed to actually get the farm would get taken by somebody else. And it's just like playing leapfrog. And every time I would get to the farm, I couldn't farm it because I had to use all my stamina to get to it. It was very frustrating. I still, at this point in the season, comparatively to the remainder of my team, if you look at it, my farm is low. And at this point, I just don't care anymore. I'm just too busy fighting. All I want to do is fight. And that's something I wanted to kind of talk through as well this season. This is the fifth season now that we're playing Lord of the Rings Rise to War, and I feel like my role within the game has evolved significantly. Season one, just learning the game, learning the ropes, learn how everything works, playing with a bunch of guys, and we ended up taking second. I don't even want to get into all that. Season two, I became a leader of a fellowship, and we won the server outright. Season three was a goddamn mess. Again, I was a fellowship leader, um, and the faction was terrible due to some really bad, very large personalities with, just they seized control of the whole thing and made a lot of bad decisions for us. So season three was kind of a nightmare. I have like PTSD from that season, and ironically, the people from that season are the ones over in Linden that are trying to recapture the capital. They can't even get their capital. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you guys, but it's just kind of ironic with all of the cruel, condescending words that were said towards my team as well as the team I'm on now, Serv, because we merged after that season. It's been a I think it's been a very successful merging. Um, Proud to be part of this group. It's a good group, good guys, strong players, strong leadership, fun. It's a good community. Nothing bad to say about this team. Um, then season 4 was just a piece of cake. We played War of the Ring and just demolished everything because we had vastly larger number of light side players to dark side players. A lot of players were bored and either stopped playing or decided to go another direction for season 5. And here we are, season 5, and like I was saying, it's been just a mess. But each season, from my own personal playing perspective, all of the politics and all the stories of what happened that season aside, I mean, I never felt like a warrior until this season. Um, Season 2, I felt like I was okay. I felt like I was strong and I was impactful in battle. And I always was not hesitant to lead my troops into battle. It was probably one of my favorite parts of that season, to tell you the truth. But from a developmental standpoint, my commanders were not that great. My gear was not that great. I still was learning, a lot about the game in terms of how to develop my roster of commanders and how to utilize different units in the army to essentially what you're trying to do in a battle is I'll show you a report. I'll show you an embarrassing report too. This one, oh, this is what you're looking for if you're the Lothlorien player. Like you're looking for reports like this where you just completely like they're two full armies here. I'm full. He's full. I'm pretty sure he's full. And he just smashed me to pieces. And when you look at this, it's so lopsided in terms of the dead. I only really look at the dead. I don't care about the wounded because you can heal the wounded and you can still use them. It's the dead number that matters to me. And in this case, it's like 5.5 to 1, 600 dead for him, and 3,240 for me. So like 6 times 5 is 30, so it's at least 5 times, almost 5.5 times more dead than me. I mean, but granted, you look at the disparity in levels between the commander, and you look at the gear, and you look at all those things, and you're like, yeah, okay, this makes sense. But still, um, where was I going with all this exactly? Right. So these kind of reports were something that I would get more often in season 2 and season 3, because I didn't have a very strong, focused roster that I could use in an effective way to fight. I wasn't afraid to fight, but I wasn't effective at fighting. And in season 3, in my time with playing with um, those toxic people, they did actually teach me a few things. There is a silver lining to all of it, and that season was the season that I decided I was going to focus on this guy, Caliborn. And it's funny because here I am in season 5, and I don't even use him. And that's mostly because I just personally believe he's only really viable if you're playing Lothlorien. He needs the March Wardens to shine. Um, you can use him without the March Wardens, but he just has damage issues, and and that's reflective, in this report because it's 3,600 March Wardens and one command of Guards of the Tower, and he's only using the Guards of the Tower for the shield training to reduce the damage on the March Wardens even more. And if you look at his March Wardens, I mean, I wouldn't say that their stats are anything. I had some pretty beast March Wardens myself, so they're pretty comparable. Like they're good, but they're not like anything super majestic. But because they have initiative, because they have pursuit, he's like immune to everything, madness, stun, all that stuff. He just completely shredded my Haldir here. These kind of reports are more rare for me now because starting in season 3, I learned to focus on developing one or two commanders at a time and just focus all your gear on that. do I need this piece on this player? Am I going to use this commander again, in future seasons? Maybe, maybe not. All right, maybe I'll just get another one. I'll nuke it. And so I started working to develop other commanders like my Gandalf. I mean, I look like a whale because not because I spend a lot of money. I do spend some money for sure, but I don't spend an egregious amount of money like some of the other players that we've heard about, like players that have spent 30, 40, $50,000 already on this game. I don't spend any kind of money like that on this game. I'm just very, very focused and efficient, and I have a little bit of luck, but I also have a lot of bad luck. And anyone who knows me in this game knows um, I went the longest time without getting a T3 commander's letter, and I finally got one last season. I got it for Treebeard, and then ironically, when it rains it pours, I got one for Aragorn, King of Men, and then ever since then I haven't gotten any other ones, and I burned over 600 Matham tokens trying to get an Isildur letter, and wasn't even able to unlock him. So it's just one of those things where luck plays a factor in it. Not only in terms of which commanders you get and how much reputation you have for those commanders, but also what kind of pieces of gear you get through the Matham or through the tips, because that's really the only two ways you're going to get gear in this game. Um, Unless there's some sort of event where you can buy it, which happens occasionally. Like they'll have some sort of a pack that you can buy during a season for like $20, and it'll have a token for a gold piece of gear, and you can trade it in for any, you can trade it for a helmet or a chest or a weapon or an accessory, and it'll be gold, whatever it is. Occasionally you see that. Those I buy. Stuff that's like $20, $5, I buy that. $100 packs? No, I don't do that anymore. Maybe once in a season. I did it for Isildur twice actually. I went really out on a limb for him because I really wanted him, and it just didn't work out. So it is what it is. But I'm not going to do that again. So that's some background for you on some of like my personal habits and spending playing the game. And so just showing you how I started with Gandalf and with Celeborn, and then I had some pieces for Aragorn here. This isn't the chest I normally wear on him. I normally wear this Superior Hauberk, like because I'm normally fighting dark side, but at the moment we're fighting light side, and I'm using Aragorn to counter Galadriel's, and with the quilted armor negative 50% focus damage, and then on knights negative 60% focus burn and poison damage. So I'm trying to find Galadriels and throw him at them, because Lothlorien feels like they have 300 frickin' Galadriels, and I think anyone that's watching this video on my team feels that right now. So, oh man, my rally is going to take off in about a little bit less than an hour. And it looks like we're losing a little bit of ground here, but I think we'll get it back. There is no one in the keep anymore. Oh, we're going to take this keep tomorrow. It's going to be delicious. So anyway, a couple other thoughts that came into my head, which is about my role this season, and how I'm not trying to be I'm trying to get farm, but I haven't had nearly as much farm as I would like, but I've made do. Um, and I haven't. I'm on the council on Serv, but I'm not the leader of Serv. So it's been nice to step back from the leadership role. I was a leader for a couple seasons. It's been good to be part of the leadership team, to be able to speak my mind and ensure awareness of stuff that I might see, so that our group is aware of it. And those kind of intelligence is what wins wars, and making it, having the right data and making the right decisions with the data are two key components to the success of any organization, and pretty much any idiom, war included. So I think it's been beneficial. So while my farm has been down, and there are people that I've encountered throughout my time in the game that are just awesome, like pathing, but maybe not the best fighters. Like they'll fight and they can be effective against some players, but against the big whales, they don't have a shot. They're great pathers, and they have a place in this game. And we need you. Like what you do is important because it saves the stamina for the fighters. Because the fighters, if they're pathing, then You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about resource constraint. The more resources you have, the more troops you have. The more troops you have, the more things you can do, like path and fight. Well, I haven't had resources, so all I do with all my troops is fight. I don't path. I don't siege. I don't even farm anymore at this point. I just straight fight, and that's why my prestige is high. That's why my contribution score for our faction alliance, towards the season goals up here. That's why I'm high on the list, because all I do is fight. And I've taken, since season three, when I started working on two or three commanders, I finished those commanders. And then season four, I started working on new commanders. And here I am, season five, and I have, a host of different options that I have to use to fight and counter different things that I'm seeing on the battlefield. Having Gilgalad, having a good Dwalin, having, the Gandalf, although he's not great PvP, it's still another option. The Aragorn. So that's what, four commanders right there. And then throwing Haldir into the mix. I have I don't have any 50s, but I have five commanders that are 40 and above. And then on top of that, I'll throw another different look at you by throwing some trees in your face. I had a guy message me the other day like, dude, what the fuck is it's a great report. A report where I had 111 ents, filling out basically the whole march with one command of guardians and guards of the tower with shield training. So it just had a ridiculous amount of damage reduction. It was a hilarious report, but they don't do a lot of damage, and that's in the product. Part of that is because he's only level 38, and I just don't have time to level him because I haven't had time to do those kind of things this season because all I've been doing all season is fighting. Fighting, 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 fighting for Erebor, fighting for Elven King, fighting for Greater Rune, fighting for Eastern Hills, fighting for Kelduin Vale, fighting for Karnan Vale, fighting all over the place, fighting for Withered Heath, and it's just been great. It's been exhausting, but it's been great. It's been a nuts season in all, start to end. For a long time it was frustrating, but we just try to make the most of it and just say, you know what, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna fight, and we fought our way out, and here we are today. And there's even possibility we could be going for the ring at some point. We have the positioning for it now that Rohan has both Lothlorien and Southern Anduin Vale. So I think there's some potential for some more fun things to happen over the course of the last week. It's going to be a crazy last week of the season. Buckle up, and then we'll be in Bag End. So you can take your vacation from the game at that point. Enjoy some real life, spend some time with your family. But this next week between now and the season cutoff is going to be wild, man. Um, just a couple of things that I'm looking for or predicting, maybe you can say, hoping. I think the word that's best to describe this is here's how I'm hoping things are going to play out. All right, it's 1 a.m. my time, Eastern time, on the 11th, Thursday of August, and the season is over at 0 UTC on the 18th, which is 1 week from today. So our highest activity is typically on Sundays. So my recommendation is to try to go for the ring on Sunday. We take Rivendell Keep tomorrow. Today. Now it's Thursday, technically, so I got to say today. Even though I haven't gone to sleep yet. And I'm talking about tomorrow because I haven't slept yet. Today's still Wednesday in my little brain. But on Thursday, we will take Rivendell. And we might farm it a little bit. We'll see. I don't know what the plan is following Rivendell, but I'm hopeful we can start making preparations to go for a ring attack and to be attacking the ring by Sunday, because that's when we have our most activity across the faction and within our fellowship. I think that's what makes the most sense to do. And then all we got to do is hold it for 3 days, next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And it's going to be a crazy end to the season, I think. Who knows? Maybe everyone's tanks are empty. I don't think so. I think it's going to be, I think that, a lot of players throughout the season have learned how to fight in a sustained environment and how to manage their portfolio, their assets, their resources to be able to stay and to be people are smart enough and good enough players to be effective in fights. So I think it's going to go right down to the wire. I'm would be so it would be interesting, to see somebody trying to literally siege Dulgodor as like the timer runs out for the season. There's potential for that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's potential for that. Who knows? I mean, if we take it on Sunday, maybe, that breaks everything and everyone's like, all right, enough is enough. It's time to just chill the last couple days of the season, have some friendly PvP. But it's been a whack season. I mean, Lothlorien jumped out to a huge lead, bullied everyone around the server, had Darkside, made a deal with Darkside so that they would occupy us in the corner of the map, corner us into that northeast corner of the map, while Lothlorien and Arnor just, beat the crap out of Linden and Gondor. Linden at one point this season had 0 regions on the map. They had nothing. So they've come back quite a bit since then because once Loth decided to come after us, Variag stepped in. And it's been very interesting. I mean, that's the turning point of the season right there. And it's been nuts ever since then. And I almost kind of feel a little guilty about taking the ring from the Variag. But at the same time, we have this opportunity. We play the game to win. You got to take the opportunity. I just think that the way that it's done is what matters the most because we've seen teams like this in the past where they like try to do these kind of dirty, underhanded things to come out on top. And I think that's definitely what Lothlorien has done this season. There's more recent examples of that, but I don't want to go into that because this video is already way too long. I'm going to cut it off in about 30 seconds to a minute. But I think, as long as we tee it up and we set a good example for the rest of the server, I think, there's going to be a favorable outcome for us. And that's exciting because for a long time this season, it was just basically like, well, looks like we're going to get another crappy season. We'll just have some fun and farm some prestige and see what happens. And here we are, the last week of the season, and there's potential to eke out a win. So it's a very exciting time. I hope anyone watching this is still awake. I apologize for the length, but there's a lot to talk about and there's a lot going on, and I hope that you found this video entertaining and insightful. Drop a comment below, give me a like. If you have feedback, for response to the request for feedback that I had early in the video, I would certainly appreciate that very much. So, like I said, get back to me. And as always, stay well.